Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, sir? What's happening?
So I've got Tyler Newton, Anthony Woods, and Tony Yaw Dupree on the line right now. Of ONEpublic NYC.
Yes, ONEpublic NYC.
I was waiting for long, bro.
ONEpublic
Yeah,
New York.
a lot of people get that confused.
Is it
it's
ONEpublic?
getting better now.
Is it New York or
a lot of people say, what's that?
Is it ONEpublic New York or NYC?
No, it's ONEpublic NYC, but like when we were first starting out, a lot of people would call us ONEpublic, like the band.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, so it's definitely good that you were able to say it correctly the first time. We appreciate that.
For sure, definitely. And what is ONEpublic? Oh, my bad. What is ONEpublic? What do you guys do?
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna take turns answering these questions because there's three of us. So all right. So this is Tyler, just for the clarity of it. I am the founder of ONEpublic, and I'm gonna give you the textbook definition of what it is. And ONEpublic is we're a collective, and we're focused on the development and success of New York's growing community of independent artists. And the way that we achieve those things is through our interview series, through our events, and we're moving into the space of technology. So we provide a platform that really fosters opportunities for artists of all skill levels to connect, collaborate, and create. And essentially, like, our mission is to build a community which celebrates the journey of independent artists and provides the next generation of creators with fair and equal access to the resources they need to create.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So what are some of the resources that you provide? What are some of the events that you produce? What are some of the interviews you've done?
Okay.
Well, we've interviewed artists such as Anna Banks, Joseph Asante from Queens. Well, I believe Anna is from Queens as well, but Joseph Asante, he's a screenwriter.
We've got Coke out of Brooklyn. Yeah, Carl Coke out of Brooklyn. Frosty Preem, also out of Brooklyn. Tootie, she's actually from New Jersey. So we try to keep it as diverse, as possible. Yeah.
And what are the themes of the events that you produce as well again?
So that's another thing where so I think what makes our collective, like, our brand, our company special is that we're using music as a catharsis, like as a means of drawing attention to certain causes, while also highlighting independent artists. So the most recent event that we've done is during Hurricane Maria. Yeah, Hurricane Maria. We organized with Voodoo Lounge and
24
Production and Chicolette Hetcho Fam. We organized a benefit concert, and it was cool because we had invited several artists from the New York area, from the Eastern Coast area, to come and perform. And we started a GoFundMe campaign, and basically, to get a ticket, you had to donate to this campaign. And after we did that, we were able to raise, and the campaign was only up for 6 days. Because we organized it pretty fast. It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
And in that span of time, we raised over $1,500, which we then took and we bought supplies, we bought batteries, we bought feminine hygiene products, like all the necessities that they needed for the victims of the hurricane. And we put it on a crate and we shipped it out. And that was all powered by independent musicians and entrepreneurs. So it was really a dope moment.
That's awesome. That's incredible what you're able to do in such a short amount of time. How did you guys collectively gather, these resources? Um, were you working in a
Yeah, man. We got Tone loves to say it. We got 9 to 5 jobs. You know what I mean? Tone, go ahead.
So a lot of the like the resources that started up came directly out of our pockets. And there's a lot of stuff that we didn't even recoup, you know what I mean? Like the money came straight out of our pockets, and as well as the artists who wanted to perform. So, I mean, everybody who was involved, they came out of pocket, and all of this stuff went right back. You know what I'm saying? So we all put in, we all made a donation. We all had a part, we all had a hand in the success of that night. And I think it was a very special night because not only did, a lot of artists come and they got to network and they got to meet each other, and people got to meet each other they'd never even met. But everyone also had a great time. Everyone,
Yeah.
really cool, and it was going to a good cause. That's the best thing, when you're able to do something successful like that and know that has a positive benefit.
Yeah. And that's how we sold it, because originally, just the backstory behind that, Anthony and I, our 9 to 5 job, we work security. So, I was currently working, and it's good money. But I was just seeing things that were going on in the world, and just so you know me a little bit better, and the audience knows, like I just recently became a father. So yeah, so my son, he's a year old now, and just becoming a dad just kind of changed my mindset on my involvement in my community, my involvement in the world, and wanting to do things that he's going to inherit, this earth at some point. So I have to and do as much as I can to contribute to a more positive world for him. So when I was seeing people struggling, with children not having electricity, not having diapers, it was really hitting home for me, and I wanted to get out and do something that was, that was going to involve music in some way, because music has always been historically a means of like healing. It's a very powerful thing. It allows people to connect. It allows us to have discussions and conversations that we wouldn't typically have, without, like, if I were to just talk to you about like politics or religion, like you might feel some type of way, but if I put it down in a song, you might embrace it a little bit more. You understand what I'm saying? So for that, like this whole event was what it was really centered around. Like, we need to put aside like, Trump's presidency, like all that. We just need to come together as young individuals and show the world that like we can organize this event, and it can be, something special. And the selling point was like, like I hit up my guy, Jordan Trasco over at Voodoo Lounge. And I was like, Trasco, let's do an event and let's make no money off of it, but let's like make it super lit and have all these artists come through. And he was like, I'm down. Like, let's do it. And that was really cool. That was a really cool moment.
Nice. Cool. And do you have more of those types of projects in the works? Are you looking to expand on that, or?
Yeah, of course, man. That's what our main thing is: interviews, events, and technology. So we're moving more so into the event side, and doing the benefit concert has certainly opened a lot of doors. So we've been collaborating with other groups like the Artist Kickback, which was founded by Mr. Truth City. Voodoo Lounge is again founded by Jordan Trasco. We got some things in the works. We're gonna pray on. I'm not gonna throw them out there yet, but yeah, we have a few things that are coming out.
Definitely. All right. Cool. That's awesome. And what about your technology? That's the piece I'm interested in. I want to know, what are you doing for the people?
Yeah. So this is Tyler, and I recently graduated from a Google-founded developer bootcamp, and It was 10 months. and it basically taught me the foundations of code, learning Swift, and iOS development. And with those skills, we plan on developing an application that is going to help solve some of the problems that artists are facing.
As far as
collaboration, and as far as the distribution of resources, finding resources such as studio time, photography, so on and so forth. So that
studiotime.io.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad. Keep going.
Yeah. So so it's going to be at first an iOS application. So sorry for anybody who has Android. Y'all just gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to find some Android developers to put y'all on too. But yes, it's gonna be an Apple product, and it's really gonna be for the culture, for the people, and just technology is out there. It's for our use, and as musicians and as creators and as entrepreneurs in today's time, we need to become more familiar with using technology to solve these big problems. And this one has been going on for a while. So, and also we want to bring New York together, man. We were just talking before this call, Anthony and Tone, just about like New York, and as much talent that's here, it's just like everybody's out for themselves.
Like crabs in a barrel, man. It's kind of crazy.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, so we want to put that aside, and just start. And we met the right people, who are of this conscious mind. So the future is bright. I'll say that.
Always, brother. Always. Cool. So, I mean, I just want to ask you guys a few questions individually. Start with Tyler. What made you start this company? When did you start this company? And, what have been some of your hardest and most rewarding moments so far?
Well, I'd say that the idea came into fruition probably during my sophomore year of college at St. John's University. Shout out to all the Johnnies out there. Whoop, whoop, yeah. So, but yeah, I met a lot of talented people my freshman year. I was privileged enough to meet a lot of musicians and artists and poets, and I kind of found myself always like in that circle.
Yeah, St. John's has a lot of talented people. I've noticed that. There are a lot of artists that go to St. John's University. It's a place to be, BMC.
Yeah, shout out to J. Cole too for really, doing his thing, representing St. John's in the right way.
J. Cole inspires a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
Yeah, but yeah, so just being around all that, was something that I held on to. But originally, I'm gonna be honest with you, like the idea has evolved. Like I always wanted to do something that was gonna bring people together. So at first, it was a clothing company, right? And the concept was to like have shirts, that it was called ONEpublic clothing. And the concept was to like have these shirts that represented like neighborhoods throughout New York and would have like pictures of buildings and landmarks that were like, if you were from there, you would know. And like if you saw somebody wearing the shirt, then you'd be like, oh, like I know that person is from where I'm from. Like, like I know where that place is. Right. And then throughout the time of doing that, right, Anthony and I, he's my co-founder, and we were really out there doing the early stages of the photography, taking pictures of the buildings, and through that, like we just kind of were like, yo, like New York is really dope. And just my experiences in college through music, I was just like, yo, like there's a connection here, because every time we would go out, we would see people either performing in the trains, see people, performing in the streets, and I was like, yo, something's happening here that I don't know if I need to pay attention to, or I don't know when the epiphany really hit me, but all I know is that we organized, so with Tone, Anthony, and there's other members of ONEpublic, by the way. It's Jackie Gonez, it's Rais Tankard, And we organized our first show was at the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, and we partnered with them, and we basically like kind of fronted into this because we had never thrown an event before. But I was like, yo, like we're seeing all these artists, and my friends are artists, and I was recognizing the struggle that they were going through. I remember the first day that Tone really like committed, because Tone on the outside, I know you're gonna ask him later, but he's an audio engineer. He's really talented. And I remember the first day where he sat down and was like, yo, like I'm gonna really commit to this. I want to do music for the rest of my life. And just having those type of people, around me, and just seeing how much they struggle to just find the resources to put their content out there, just it all kind of came into one thing. I don't know if I could really isolate it into like one experience, but I guess to answer your question more clearly, I could talk about the struggles, right? Because I think that's what makes any good CEO is really like what they were able to persevere through, and just through its fruition. It's just been about just getting up every day. Just the consistency of challenging myself to come up with new and creative ways to kind of bolster this community that, as the last 10 years, 15 years have shown, they've always wanted to kind of do things on their own. They haven't wanted to kind of organize. So when I would go out, I was told no a lot. I had a lot of people who were just like, yo, that'll never happen. And luckily, through the strength of my friends and the people that were around me, we all came together and were able to build this really dope platform that is still growing. It's growing gradually, but the numbers are starting to be reflective of the work that we're putting in. So yeah.
Very cool. And what about you, Anthony? How did you get involved? What makes you want to work with artists, and what's your own art, if you have?
Well, since I was in elementary school, I kind of started with a poetry project my 7th grade teacher had given us, and it was a love poem. I'm a lover boy at heart, and I had wrote it, and it was the class's favorite poem, and all of the girls were like infatuated with it, and I ended up even getting a girlfriend from the poem. But that's when that's when it only lasted a day, but nonetheless and I continued with that same art through high school, and I didn't really start taking it seriously until around junior year, which is also around the same time Tyler and I had really started speaking, because we had the same,
classes,
same classes, same freshman homeroom, but we didn't really start kicking it till junior, especially senior year. And we graduate, we go on, we kind of go our own separate paths for like a year or so, and then we link back up, and we stay in communication. And a few months later, he comes over to my house and he brings up, I have this great idea I want to come through and share with you. And as he mentioned before, it's called ONEpublic clothing. And I'm like, bro, like, this is a great idea. And I always wanted to kind of have this sense of being a part of something bigger than myself, right? And, for the people. And I saw an opportunity. So, of course, the T being my brother, we jumped at it. And that's when we started going out and in the city, shooting photography with the buildings, and just being inspired by the whole landscape of New York City and everything that is intertwined with it. And in our case, with the artists, we even met some artists through our photography. We'd go out do photo shoots with them, and it was a cool experience. And from there, it just snowballed into what we have today, and being like missionary, so to speak, aiding musicians and giving them opportunities through these events. And with the technology coming up, because that's ever more important nowadays. And but me personally, my thing is writing. Like I love writing. I just finished a piece not too long ago, and I'm working on a book right now. So that's in the works right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's it about?
Kind of, I like to say human tragedy in a sense. The title is Just Like Life Is. So there's no coincidence there. It's like a random. What's that?
Title is Life Is.
No, Just Like Life Is.
Just
and
like
just like life is.
cool.
And if you kind of want to fill in the blanks, you can add random at the end, right? So that's exactly what it is. It's a compilation of my endeavors throughout childhood all the way up to me maturing into the, young man that I am today. So
Nice.
that's what I'm working on.
That's really healing.
What?
That's
What's
really
that?
cool. Good for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Appreciate that. And so, yeah, that's also what makes us kind of avoiding the cliches and being that, that's what everybody says. Everybody kind of they talk the talk but don't walk the walk, in the sense that they want to support artists, but they don't come from that struggle, as Tyler was saying, and Tone, working 9 to 5s and having to be rejected and told no to. And so the fact that we've been through it, we could relate. That that makes us more. What's the word I'm looking for?
You know the word.
Like that just makes us more appealing, to people.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know what? You did well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
cool.
That's me.
That's awesome. That's what's up. That's dope. What's up? What about you, Tony? How do you get the nickname Yao? How do you get the name Yao? What's that about? How long have you been a musician? What's good?
Okay, so this is Yao.
Oh, my bad.
Tony Dupree. Well, I got the nickname Yao. I was away. I went to Atlanta for a little while, and that was the last few years before I went to college. I came back to New York, and of course I went to St. John's as well. But when I came back to New York, I reestablished a relationship with my godmother, right? And she took me into an African shop, and she told me, she asked me, she said, what day were you born on? I said, well, how am I supposed to know what day I was born on? She said, no, like when was your birthday? I said, yo, my birthday is October 28th. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, so you're a Scorpio, but you don't know what day you were born on? I said, I don't know. So I looked in my phone, Google everything, and turns out I was born on a Thursday.
Okay, cool.
And she said, yo, your name is Yao. I said, oh, shoot. Well, I didn't know. She said, yeah, that's your Ghanaian name. She said, your name is Yao. So that's what I'm going to call you from now on. And that's how I got the name Yao.
That's what's up. That's
a story. I believe it, though, but that's the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, actually. You don't hear that every day, so that's cool. And that's awesome. So, and you're a musician as well. You're audio engineer. You're creative officer. What are you doing with the company, with the collective?
Okay. Oh, so I don't know if you know, but like this past weekend, I actually did the artist kickback. I was a panelist, and I got to share a little bit of my knowledge. But and I got a chance to kind of tell people or show people a little bit more about music technology and how they could get started, and a lot of the foundation, or the bottom, like the lowest of the low, in order for you to just get started on making electronic music. But a little bit more about my backstory. Like I said, I was in Atlanta, and I don't know if you know, but in the South, it's a really big thing to be in a band.
Okay.
And I was in a few bands. I was in a marching band. I was in a symphonic band, and I was trying to get in the jazz band as I was leaving. Nice. Before I went to college, but I was just too late. And I'm so upset that I missed that chance. I would have loved to be in the jazz band. But ongoing, I went to school. We went to St. John's, and I moved on into St. Vincent Hall.
Shout out.
Right?
All right.
Shout out to the Vinnies. Right? And down the hall actually lived Tyler, and right across from Tyler lived Matt Bacon, also known as Paradise. You probably know him as, right? Yeah. And Paradise had his whole studio set up in his room.
I remember that. Actually.
Hey, so you know what it is. So you know what it is. And I would hear it. I would hear, the tracks going on and shit. Like the fucking beats and all that shit late night, about 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I'm walking in the building. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on in there? Right. So one day I decided to go down there and knock on the door. And I knew it was Matt, but I didn't know anything really about Matt, even though he was my RA. And, he brought me in.
That's dope. That's awesome.
Yeah. He invited me in. And I was always big on freestyling. You know what I mean? Like, I would always freestyle, and I had the musical background, but I didn't know at the time that I wanted to do electronic music, that I had already had, like, a kind of solid foundation as far as, like, musical thought or musical theory. So from there, I decided that I wanted to go to school for music, or at least, the electronic parts that I could start laying down or getting my ideas out and solidifying them. And from there on, the next year, things just kept on going, and Tyler started to collaborate with me more. And we were in my dorm. We were living in, I think that was Cary Hall. And we were chilling. And next thing you know, Tyler's like, bro, how's your music going? He's like, I got an idea. He's like, yo, let's make these T-shirts. And let's kind of like try to tie everything all together. Like, you're doing music, and you got like everybody's from New York, and we just want to like kind of tie everything together. And from there, that's how I kind of started to like design a lot of the designs, or come up with the theories for the designs, and which were the foundations of ONEpublic.
And you and do you sell the merchandise now, or do you plan on selling the merchandise?
That merch, the beginning, the foundation merchandise is long and gone.
Yeah.
In terms of the platform, are you continually working on the branding and thinking about creating like page with the hats and the shirts and the shirts?
We're always working on the branding. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because if anything, ONEpublic is a brand first. Mm-hmm. It's us first. And things are great, but right now we're focused on the community. Mm-hmm. We want to reach as many people. We want to inform as many people and make sure that everyone's on the same page, just right before we get that app going, so that it's already set in place and everybody's ready to go.
Let's talk a little bit more about that app. What are you guys doing to help people, or not specifically the app? In general, what are you doing to? What are some of the things that artists need? I guess I'm trying to frame it in a specific way.
Man,
I guess I want us to go through and figure out what artists want, what artists need, what are the
you want to take it?
Yeah. I think that exposure would be the go-to in terms of what artists would want, especially when first starting off, because one of our slogans is connecting artists from the grassroots level. And Tom hit on the keyword earlier, collaboration. And through collaborating, it's like tell a friend to bring your friend to bring your friend. You meet that other person's party, and you never know. It's like walking to the corner store. You never know who you're going to bump into. So that number, when you meet other teams such as Voodoo Lounge, Artist Kickback with 24, and 24 Productions, etc. When you're introducing yourself to these different groups, the chances of you meeting that one person who can take you to the next level, such as Tone being a producer and him meeting the next artist he could collaborate with, like, with a Drake and 40, those numbers become exponentially greater. And so that's really the whole purpose of trying to collaborate with people who you could just make dope ass art with and finding exposure. So hopefully somebody notices you.
So I think we have like one more word. So that's 2 words so far. We have exposure, collaboration, and I think the last one would be inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And so, those are the 3 things that artists always will need in order to get them over the hump or get them into the next step, or even to just inspire their ideas.
Yeah. And so real quick, the app is going to be the pedestal for that. It's going to encompass all of the points that we just hit on. But for the time being, what we're doing currently and in the past has been, live events, interview series, photo shoot meetups, things like that. Whatever we can do in our means, since we are the 9 to 5 hustling and grinding, we do.
Yeah.
So,
like Anthony, we all look. I think this is the best way to sum it up. What do artists need? Like we've gone through a lot of the same struggles that artists need right now. Like we've needed photographers. You know what I mean? We've needed venue space. We've needed record. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that as a platform, as our own group, that we've needed and have just had to go through the struggle of go to venue after venue and get turned down and be like, oh, we don't know if you guys have enough spirit. You know what I mean? Like we want to help kind of smooth that out. So one of the ways that we're going to be doing that is partnering like the groups that we've mentioned thus far. Again, just to kind of shout them out once more, it's the Artist Kickback. That's Voodoo Lounge. That's 24 Production. Mr. Troop City, right? Those guys, those are the people. Those are the collaborators as our platform. For our platform, they're allowing us to have access to these different spaces. But each one of those groups I just remembered are entire groups or collectives of like several people. So for an artist, for like one individual just starting out, you can only imagine that if you had this thing boiling inside you where you're like, yo, like I have this idea, I have this music inside me, but I have no idea where to go to get started. That's pure frustration, and I think a lot of that happens frequently enough to discourage people from ever creating, from ever getting started to taking that first step, because it's already scary enough if you're an artist to do that first performance, right? To really put yourself out there and assume responsibility of your words and of your work and present it to people for their judgment, But when you're trying to get to that point, right, of actually getting in front of people, but you can't even get the tools or the resources to build up to that point, it just kind of it takes people out of the game, right? And that reduces the amount of the overall ceiling for creativity, right? That reduces, like, if one person is discouraged and gives up on music, that's like one possibility of somebody creating a new genre of music, a new flow,
a new wave, And also, hold up, I think we're forgetting somebody. We also want to throw a shout out to Jackie, because Jackie's also doing the paint nights. We're also working on paint nights.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jackie. So Jackie Gomez, she is our communications officer. She does like all of our emails. She really helps to organize us and to make sure that, for scheduling things like this interview, like she's on top of. But she's also like an amazing artist, an amazing visual artist. So if you scroll through our page on Instagram, you'll see that we've done a number of like paint and sip nights where like people come. We'll have like maybe 25 to 30 people, and they'll just be instructed in the basic ways of like creating recreating pictures, and Jackie leads all of that. and she's really talented. She's really dope. But yeah, man, like we're really out here. We're really in the struggle. Like I think that's what we want people to really recognize about us is that as much as they are going through it, like we're going through it too.
We're right there with you.
We're right there with you, but we're also in enough of a position to start giving people opportunities. Because it's one thing to be in the struggle with people, you know, but you got to have a way of bringing people out of the struggle too. So we're going through it, and we've identified it, and we're continuously meeting people who, like, it's just patterns. You know what I'm saying? When you're seeing somebody's like, yo, like hitting us up through our DMs, yo, you know photographers? Man, I'm trying to perform. You guys got venue space? Man, you know any studios that will take this? You know, like those are the problems. Those are the issues that artists are facing. They're facing a lack of people who are willing to get together and collaborate, right? Like, I remember just sitting in the studio and just having jam sessions, you know, and going in there without really any purpose, but like just the energy, just the fun and just playing off of the people's energy around you. Like, we need more of that, you know, and that's really what
ONEpublic is about.
That's what we're all about, and we're trying to express that. We are expressing that through our interviews, through our events, and it will be expressed through our app. So yeah, man, I'm just really excited. If anybody listens to this, you know, we're all very humble people. You know, hit us up, DM. My personal page is out there. Like Anthony's personal page is out there. Tone's personal page is out there. Just hit us up. We're open to collaboration. We're open to new ideas. So Pat, I'm holding you to it. We're gonna get something together. We're gonna collaborate on something too. But yeah, man, for sure. Like, you know, it is what it is.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. ONEpublic. There you go.
Yes. There you go.
Thank you,
man.
Pat. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, is there anything else, guys, that you want people to know?
Oh, yeah, this is Tone. This is Yao. My first EP is in conception. It's being worked on right now. So I'll be updating you guys with a few dates and a few visuals, so y'all be on the lookout.
Yeah, man. And just make sure, like I said, keep your heads up, man. Help is on the way, guys. ONEpublic got you.